Oh, Laura, we're finally live and we're both totally together.
So good. How are you doing,
So
Jacob?
I'm good. So a reason for this call was to maybe uncover or discover the why of what you're doing. So uh, I'd like to start with that. Like what caught your attention with us, and then how long you've been thinking about doing a boudoir, and what are your reasons?
Okay, I seen you on Facebook.
Hmm.
I read your story. I know that you donate money to a women's shelter for abused women.
Yeah.
Um, Coming from domestic violence myself, and then watching my mom go through it, I think that's a wonderful cause and something I'd like to support.
Hmm.
As far as I've been always wanted to do a boudoir photo shoot, a lot since I was like in my 30s is really when I started thinking about it. So, but I just never acted on it. I never had the opportunity. So, you made it possible for me to do that. So, I thank you for that. And the reason I'm doing it is because I'm going to be 55 in July. I'm just, I'm ready to catch. I'm getting older, but I'm not quite that old. So think I want to be able to capture my essence as a person. You know what I mean? I want to feel as beautiful as I feel on the inside. I want you to make that for me happen. You know what I mean? That's what I'm wanting to do. So, and I want women to understand that, even though we're not perfect body wise, our vision is totally, we're so worse on ourselves than what other people think about us. We pick ourselves to death. The thing of it is, I want to be comfortable in my own skin. I'm getting older where I really don't care what people think anymore too much. But I still want to feel beautiful. And I think a boudoir photo shoot will help me feel that way because I am in an abusive relationship. So when you have somebody that always puts you down and always takes pieces of you, sometimes you need something to put yourself back together again. And I think this will help me with that.
Hmm. So thank you for sharing that. I'd like to make it clear with us, with Purple Boudoir, it's a fundraiser for the Wings program. You don't need to
Donate.
identify as a survivor.
Right.
Although 1 in 3 women do experience domestic violence in their lifetime at least once,
Yeah.
the statistics are it's gross. I mean, it's unbelievable. So even if it's not you, someone you know or love has been through this.
Yeah.
Maybe you've had to witness it. I think it's so I'm glad you found us.
I am too.
Is what I'm
Because
saying.
you're so wonderful. And I mean, you're supportive and you make me feel at ease. So I'm very excited about my photo shoot coming up in April.
I'm also excited about your photo shoot in April. So you just disappeared. You got to turn. Oh, there you
Hold
go.
on. I must have called, so I just got him off the phone.
Okay. So a little bit more. You mentioned that you're in a relationship and that the relationship's not an ideal relationship. I think you said you still live with your abuser.
Yeah, I do.
I want you to talk about it, but the preface to that is I understand that. I mean, my abuser was my dad. I had no place to go. I was a kid. Where am I going to go?
Right.
And he wasn't Hitler. He was only violent sometimes. Meant
Right.
he was also a loving, generous a father who adored me and never went to therapy. So that generation just never got the help they needed. So they didn't know how to deal with emotions.
Right.
Outside was. But I want you to talk about your relationship and the evolution of that, so people understand that you're not in a hostage situation, that you're safe. I think people want to hear that.
Okay. I've been married to my husband for 20 years. It'll be 20 years this year.
Mhm.
He wasn't always violent. This just started recently, about 5 years ago.
Mhm.
I can't tell you what happened to make him go that way. I witnessed it with my mother as a child, so I already was a people pleaser and I still had remnants of that from when my childhood. So when he started that, it really just brought me back to a place I didn't want to go to.
Yeah.
I am in therapy. I see a lady for my PTSD, and she helps me out quite. She's my sounding board and my support and everything I need at times. So I do have her. And, my husband's got mental illness too, so that complicates things a little bit sometimes. So my kids are grown now, so it's made it a little bit easier. I'm trying to figure out, where to go and what I want to do. It just seems like situations always make you stay there. You know what I mean? But I think this will help me find myself and find the courage I need to, stand up for myself and say, hey, this is enough.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
that's what I'm thinking.
So we both know, because we have had some similar experience, that abuse can put a pretty large dent in our self-esteem.
Oh, yeah.
Can you talk about that and what your narrative is like in your head?
My self-esteem is like, like you're fat and you're this and, and it's not even so much about my appearance. It's just always undermining my thought process and making me feel like I'm a little bit crazy. It's just things that he does that takes pieces of me every day. It seems like
Mhm.
just, it's a little poke here and a little pinch there, but it's enough to where over time it starts taking away from who you are. So
It
when
does.
I look in the mirror, sometimes I don't even know who I'm looking at because I don't even recognize myself, because this wasn't how I used to be when I was younger. I was always so because of my parents. And then all of a sudden I just lulled myself into letting him do what he does. It's just stupid.
Yeah.
But it happens gradually. It's not something that, happened overnight, and I'm not going to fix it overnight. So my whole thing is I've got to find the strength and the courage to take on my own life and quit being so scared of being alone. And because, I'm now all that questions come in. I'm 55. Will I ever find somebody? Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be alone. And then part of me is like this, like, hell, I invested 20 something years with this man. I always thought somebody would be there when we got old together, but sometimes it don't work out that way. So I just got to find it within myself to, start living my life and quit living in a hole thinking things are going to get better when they're not. So
So
that's
you're using this as a celebration, like a liberation kind of experience.
yes, I am. So I can put it on my dating website.
No,
No,
we're gonna do dating photos for you.
awesome. But I
Uh,
mean, really, I just I want to feel as beautiful. I want to see my beauty like I feel inside. Do you see what I mean?
you're telling me that you feel good inside about yourself.
Sometimes, well, when I'm by myself and with my kids or, with my friends and I'm not always being put down, I'm pretty
What's what's a nice thing that you said about yourself recently?
um, that I'm kind.
Sure. Is there more? It's self-affirmation. Like who are you? How do you show up these days in relationships?
I can't even tell you. I don't even remember when the last time was, in all honesty.
Okay. Um,
I'm not very nice to myself.
okay, so that's what we're going to work with.
Okay.
That's what's we're going to help you heal from with
Okay.
this experience. You have some supporters in life. I think one of them is your 18-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
She's going to come with you to the photo
Yes, she
shoot.
is.
Your cheerleader.
She is. And we're going to just enjoy our time together.
Yeah.
So,
Is there another? Can you think of another few people that might want to support you and comment on your photos and
oh
give
yeah,
you
I
encouragement?
talked to my friend Lisa and my friend Savannah. I have a couple people that I'm going to have them do supportive of me so they can be there and be my rah department. So, I can feel better. And, I'm very excited, and I'm hoping that maybe when I do that, that maybe that will make them want to do something like that too, because I want them to see how they're classy and they're beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I
So
want them to see.
I think I just recently, we've been around for a couple of years and people keep saying how transformative and liberating the experience has been. I think if we can facilitate your friends in supporting you both in our private Facebook group and with your album reveal party,
Uh-huh.
where we do a little bit of champagne or some coffee and cookies, and you'll see your beautiful album for the first time. I think having your friends there to hug you and compliment you, taking in the compliment is half the work.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I need that. I
Yeah.
think I need that. Because I mean, I used to not have a problem with my self-esteem back in the day. I went on about, I was very independent and very headstrong and
Mhm.
very anti-man at one point in time. I can do it all by myself is what I used to say. And I did for many, many years till I met my husband. And then it was like, slowly but surely, I just started giving up that control. And now all of a sudden I'm like stuck in the hole and he's on top of it, which is, like I said, it was just a gradual thing. So,
Yeah.
I'm still I found myself here the last couple of years. I've really bucked up and said, hey, this isn't acceptable and I'm not going to put up with this no more. But I have.
So this may sound a little screwy to someone that just jumped in on this conversation, but if
Mhm.
you're listening to the whole conversation, you'll understand when I say, I love how you sound.
Oh, thank you.
It's not the experience, it's how you respond to it. We're in control of how we respond to situations, right? And
Right.
circumstances. And to me, you sound like somebody who takes ownership for her happiness and for how you're going to create your life,
Well, I
and how you show up.
and I have a lot of problems expressing my emotions and stuff because I grew up in a very emotionalist household. My dad was not one of to tell you I love you or anything like that. So
Yeah.
I have a real hard time with that. So as I've gotten older, I'm trying to work that out to where I can express my emotions and express myself in a positive way, because I am my worst critic,
Yeah.
and I will beat myself to death. And I've got to stop that. I now do some self-love and some self-care and get
Yeah.
myself where I need to be, because I'm no good for anybody else if I'm not liking myself.
I think that's fantastic. And that's a great note to end this little interview on, because there's going to be more about your boudoir journey, your self-love journey to come. So Laura, I think you did fantastic. Wave goodbye to all the people out there
Bye.
on Facebook. Stay on the line. We're going to talk afterwards.
Okay, thank you.
Hold on one second. Let me just
Sure.
end this.